Hello and welcome to Conversation Corner. My name's Kunal. Today we'll explore the cliche do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. This is something that seems to be said by someone from an ivory tower, and it is not relatable to the majority of people who work for a living. People have come to the conclusion or definitely believe that work means labor, and that implies doing something that may not be pleasant but is necessary. So the main narrative that runs in mainstream society is that human beings need to make a living, and in order to make a living you need to work, and work is not always pleasant, or work is not meant to be pleasant is also the saying of some people, and they may be right to a certain extent and they may be wrong to a certain extent. I remember someone saying on a podcast, everyone cannot be a poet or an artist. Society needs engineers, society needs mechanics, society needs firemen. There are different jobs in the marketplace that need to be filled for a fully functional marketplace, and that's absolutely true. What we are exploring in this video is the concept or the idea behind do what you love and you'll not work a day in your life. Now, this is different from the saying do what you love and the money will flow. This is not in any way related to that saying. We're just going to explore this saying do what you love and you'll not work a day in your life. So let's break it down bit by bit. What is it like to do work that you don't love? Basically, what is it like to just wait for a paycheck? It's like someone offering you a 100 rupee bill and you offering them, sorry, it's like someone offering you a 10 rupee bill and you offering them 100 rupees. So that is a loss of about 90 rupees, and on the surface, it seems to be a deal that's quite stupid that most of us wouldn't take. If someone gave you 10 rupees and asks for 100 rupees, you're not going to take that offer up. The problem here is we don't see time as a currency. Now, time is something that can't be spent in the same sense that money can be spent. You can exchange the money that you have, you can exchange this for goods and services. When you work, the way you earn money is by spending time. Now, if you are engaged in work that you do not love, if you are engaged in work that is labor, you have to spend a lot of time in return for a lot less return in your life. How do I explain this? You work for a monthly salary. For those days on which you're not paid, you're waiting for the paycheck to arrive. You're waiting for the paycheck to arrive. Until the paycheck arrives, you're quite unhappy. And the day the paycheck hits, you feel high in a certain sense. You can go out and spend that on movies, you can go out and spend that on restaurants, or if you're more conservative, you may even invest that in, let's say, the share market or fixed deposits or whatever. But the fact still remains that in order to get that paycheck, you need to work, and of course, you're working a job you don't like. So, most of your time goes towards sustaining a lifestyle that is keeping you miserable. Now, of course, I'm not advocating for you to quit your job. That's not something I would advise for someone who hasn't saved up enough. What I am asking you to do is, I'm asking you to pay attention to what is happening here. You're not viewing time as a currency, and when you're not viewing time as a currency, you're failing to see the negative return that's being generated on your investment. Let's say you work Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday is a day off, so you're eagerly looking forward to the weekend. The weekend comes, you maybe go out with your friends and party, maybe you stay at home and watch Netflix. Basically, you consume and you want to forget all the stress that was generated from Monday to Friday. So maybe you might even drink heavily. Whatever be the case, you want some form of escape. so that you can prepare yourself for the week that is going to come, and the cycle repeats itself over and over again. When you do work that you love, any day of the week becomes just like any other day. Now, Saturday, Sunday isn't special. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday aren't special either. You may be foreign to the concept of vacations altogether, and you may be able to immerse yourself completely in the work that you do. Now, even though you get paid at a certain time in the month, your source of joy does not come just from that paycheck. Of course, it's good to have money to spend. It's good to be able to eat out at the restaurants you like. It's good to be able to go to the movies once in a while to treat your friends and family. But the work that you're doing now is a source of joy for you. And the happier you are at doing what you like, the more energy you have to do that. And so at the end of the day, even though you may be tired, you're not really stressed because your work was a source of joy for you. Now, the challenge we face in modern life is finding that sweet spot of being well remunerated and also having the opportunity at doing something that gives us joy. Unfortunately, we've been conditioned for greed since we were kids. We were taken away from ourselves and we were told to focus on that which gets us recognition and wealth, essentially. So, the jobs we pursue are the jobs we believe get us some level of prestige or wealth. I'm speaking mainly of India. I'm not acquainted with the situation worldwide, but if I were to speak of India, status and wealth are the primary reasons for pursuing jobs for most Indians. At one point of time, this was MBA. Now it's become the job for becoming an IAS or a UPSC officer. And I believe there's a high demand for software engineers right now. So people think it's lucrative to become a software engineer right now. So basically, it's whatever the market is presenting to you, and essentially, what you have conditioned yourself to become is a product which can be sold. Yeah, we get remunerated for the services we provide a company, and that's called a salary. And you have said that you're something that is for sale. The work you do is the work that is assigned to you and not necessarily the work you may choose to do otherwise. And of course, it's hard to convince people that it may be possible to do work that you thoroughly enjoy and that pays you well enough to sustain a certain lifestyle that is respectable. Let's say it pays the bills, it pays the rent, it pays the maintenance of your flat, the electricity, etc. Of course, you may not be driving your dream car, you may not be going on dream vacations, but most of your life will allow you access to be happy because the work you do itself is a source of joy, not the payout. In most jobs, the payout is the source of the joy and not the work itself. And since time is something that can never be accumulated, it's only spent. Most of your time is being spent being miserable in the hopes that one day you'll accumulate enough money and then you'll be able to do what you like. But even if that day ever came, there's a good chance you won't be happy because you've conditioned yourself to become miserable over time. And as the saying goes, the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. So, if you are someone who hasn't got a job as yet, make sure that the decision you make for the job you're going to choose is a decision you take with great consideration. If you just chase a paycheck, you can get access to a certain lifestyle, but you can't ignore the fact that time is a resource too, that time is the essence of life, of human life, and you cannot spend majority of your life being miserable just so that you get a few days of joy. This is a bad investment. No one wants to get a negative return on their investment, and I certainly hope that you do not make this decision with the job you choose or the career you choose. So be very careful if you've yet not chosen a career, and keep in mind that it is very essential to find work that you love in order to live a happy life. If you don't do that, you'll be dying in installments. Every day you're going to feel more miserable, and you'll be a part of what I call the living dead. You know, there's this old saying, men die at 25 and they are buried at 75. That is going to be your case. So if you're looking to be employed after graduating college, make that decision carefully. And it's easier said than done not to chase the money, but if you can do that, you'll be saving yourself a lot of trouble. Yes, money will give you access to a certain lifestyle, and if you can make a lot of money in a very short in a very short amount of time, maybe that will give you access to doing what you like, by first doing something you don't like so much. But it's very hard to accumulate a lot of money in very little time doing something that's completely ethical or legal, of course. So try and seek work that does make you happy, work that you enjoy doing for the sake of doing it and not for the sake of a result, in which in this case would be a salary. Of course, it's easier said than done, but come to think about it logically, why would you want to spend the majority of your life being miserable? There's absolutely no reason. There's no reason to buy into this notion that uh, work is drudgery. There's no reason to buy into this concept that work is a necessary evil. There is a way to access work that is inherently joyful. It is a possibility. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to each and every one of us. It is something that will require you to search hard. It will require you to experiment a lot, and it will require you to be very self aware. But if you can find work that you love, understand your life will be amazing, because majority of human life is spent working. A third of it is spent sleeping. Monday to Friday people work, and they take Saturday, Sunday off. So that goes to show you that work is life for majority of your life. When do people retire? Let's say in their 60s or maybe their 70s. So a large portion of your life is going to be spent working, and you have the option now to decide, are you going to do something that's going to make you a more joyous person, or are you going to be mortgaging your uh, joy for the weekends or for the month for which you're compensated with money? Of course, easier said than done. It's hard to go against childhood conditioning that takes you away from yourself and tells you you have to meet certain goals and targets. But I think if you search, and if you search hard enough, you may just find work that you love and that pays you well enough. I hope you certainly do, and thank you for watching my video.